space there. Let me sit next to you. That should be perfect. Yeah.
All right,
That should be good.
Santana Starks, man. Thank you for coming out. So, you just came out on the boat. We actually had some issues. Had to get towed in. It wasn't that bad though, right?
We ended up having a great time.
Yeah.
The neighbor came and towed us. We went out. We had a blast on the bigger boat. Which, first of all, Ivan's boat is the motherfucking shit. Let me just put that first. We went out there. We had a blast. Came back. Met one of the neighbors. Picked him up. Had a blast. But you know what? The water level is like 2 feet down. You know, I mean, it is what it is. You know, you hear about Lake Mead and all that stuff. The water level out here in Illinois, Indiana is 2 feet down. So we're dealing with what we got to deal with. You'll see in the later scenes. But either way, a bad boat on the lake is a good boat on the lake because we had a blast.
A bad day on the water is better
Word.
than any other.
Hey, first of all, hold up.
Someone's been drinking and smoking.
He brought moonshine. Who brings Ivan?
Gotta take care of the guests, man.
So I'm moonshined up. I ain't gonna lie, but I'm ready to rock.
Yes. All right. Anyway, so let's have an origin story. Let's talk about how you started, man. You know, where you went, who trained you. I mean, I want to know.
So, man, these days, honestly, it's been about 23, which sounds crazy. 23, 20, probably not crazy to you because you've been doing it way longer than
That's
me.
still a long time, though, dude.
23, 24 years I've been doing it. I actually started in PCW. PCW, Pro Championship Wrestling, out of Elk Grove, when they used to train out of Elk Grove, which is pretty much famous for when they started train their top tier wrestlers like Ego, Robert Ego, Anthony, etc. That's where I came out of. I started out there, and I actually started right when they had a little bit of a split. Not sure what happened, but AAW and PCW were one at one point, but AAW became its own thing, which AAW is still running. But that's when Tony Scarpone decided to say, "Hey, PCW, I'm not with you anymore. I'm doing my own thing." I decided to step away from PCW, go with AAW, and to see what I can do. I probably could have stood in PCW, did a little bit better, but I wanted to be with the veterans. I wanted to be with the boys. I mean, honestly, this was such a long time ago.
Yeah.
I really can't explain to you. I mean, it's at this point, 23, 24 years ago, which is crazy to think of.
Really
I've got children that are younger than that, but here we are. You know, even with you, a lot longer than that. You started in Windy City. You know, I started right when Windy City was I was saying in a transition from what they were to a new age of Windy City when whatever it was to try to keep the company open, whatever it may be.
It was almost the end.
Every company has its end. Yeah, every company has its end, but that's really when I started to come around into the business. The biggest thing was I started actually with a guy named Mark Madison. You probably never heard of him.
Mm-hmm.
Some have, some haven't. He started in Pro Championship Wrestling. He was in a tag team called Ladies Night Out with Boy Toy Brian. Shirley.
It's all right. We're not cutting. There's people. It's a marina.
It's a marina. Everybody's partying. Everybody's interviewing. You know. So, so basically, yeah. So Brian Shirley was a tag team partner with Mark Madison, and Mark Madison was actually somebody I grew up in the hood. I grew up in Chicago, Midway Airport. You know, straight up in the hood. I'm not gonna lie. You know, wrestling was not a big sport out there. It's football, you know, that type of thing in high school. Wrestling was really unheard of as far as trying to pursue it. I had a friend named Mark. He was on like 55th and like Kedzie. And he had a little basement fed. It wasn't a backyard fed, it was a basement fed. And he really went the extra mile where making lights and videos and and music, and he went the extra mile to make it look like it was a real fed, but obviously we were just a main, basement fed. And we went through that, and years later, after I stopped doing that stuff, Mark, I went to which you would know about, which maybe not, because it was kind of may have been after your Windy City time, but Windy City Pro Wrestling held a show at Man Carey's dealership, which may have been at their little bit at the end of their stretch. Ivan, you were more on their strong stretch, through and through. But at a point, Windy City did get a little bit of a smaller stretch where they're trying to survive. That's where I kind of sent the guys at Man Carey's, and even at that point, Windy City was still strong. Windy City was Windy City. I mean, you can't never say anything bad about Windy City because they were always a great federation.
They were, yep.
So Windy City was still Windy City. They were just, at a car dealership. Yeah, a little. You never seen that with Days with You. You never seen that at Days with Mike Anthony or anything. But at times, companies come between transitions, and that was in the between the transition. That's when I seen Windy City. I never knew that thing before that. I never knew nothing about Mike Anthony. I never knew nothing about you. But I seen an opportunity. They said that they trained guys. I didn't get into it right away. Mark Madison did. Mark Madison got into it right away. He got into it, Pro Championship Wrestling. And that's when I'm talking like guys like Ego. A lot of guys that are doing big things were in Pro Championship Wrestling. They were a really good milestone company, just like Windy City was. It was Windy City. I will say a little bit more prestigious, but Pro Championship Wrestling definitely had its cues. So that's where I was, and at that time, for some odd reason, I don't know, because I was just a rookie. Tony Scarpone had split from the company from Rick Knight, Wally Wild, everybody that was running that company at that time. He split from them. He had a different vision, had a different everything. And I was given a choice at that time. Like, not by the promoters, but by my friend. He's like, hey, you can stay in PCW. You could probably be pretty good, top tier type of wrestlers. But, you're going to be away from all your boys. And I really didn't want to be away from all my boys. I'd rather just work my way through the ranks, do what I can do, and that's what I did. Me and my cousin Danny, we created a tag team named Body Count, and we for years in PCW we did great things. I miss tag team wrestling. Daniel Allure, if you're watching this, at any time you ever decide to come back, it's been years, man. 5, 6, 7 years. He's got a bad back. If you ever decide to come back, brother, I'm here for you. If not, long live Body Count. That's all I can say. We created a lot of different tag teams from PCW. It was a great time. It was a little bit later than the Windy City, but it was a different era. I started in PCW when they split. I went to AAW with them. Started with Scarpone. Which sounds crazy, when Scarpone started in AAW, Danny Daniels was actually a trainer out of Iowa. And he had 2 guys he brought with him, Merrick Brave and Colby. And Colby was actually, you may know him now as Seth Rollins. He would come out and he would train with us. And, I always knew that he had the great look. He had a great talent. There was something about him that just put him a level above us. What it was, I didn't know, but you can't teach that. Mm-hmm. You really can't teach that. That's something that just comes to you. It's just what you are, and that's what he was. And that's, if you look at him now with his WWE run. As soon as he comes out of the curtain, they're chanting, "Oh!" He's fucking amazing, and I can never take anything away from him. He did what he had to do to get where he's got to do, to where he's at. Amazing job. Bravo.
So you're kind of proud of him.
More than proud of him. More than proud of him. There's no jealousy. Me personally, I've got kids, man.
Yeah.
There's no way I could have did what he did. Even if I was given the same opportunity as him. I've got children, and I decided to be the father man. You know, I decided to raise my children. I decided there's no way I could have traveled that WWE schedule, Ring of Honor schedule, whatever he was doing. There's no way I could have did it.
Yeah,
it takes
understandable.
You know, it takes a special talent, a special person to do that stuff, and you've really got to dedicate yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's all about that at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do that, so you know, it's not even that. Not even that opportunity was presented to me, but if it was, I couldn't accept it.
Absolutely.
You know,
yeah,
so you know, I'm not trying to say that I'm so good that you could even put me on the same level as Seth Rollins, but if I was offered that at that time when he was at the same level as me, would I have been able to do it? Probably not.
Yeah.
You know, I've got 3 beautiful daughters. I got a son. I love him to death. That's the route I chose. Yeah. He's got a daughter or son, whatever it is, with the man Becky Lynch. God bless you, brother. I love you. But that wasn't my path in life. So great for you. AAW was amazing. I learned a lot from Danny Daniels. Going from there, kind of really sprouted my as far as independent wrestling goes. It really sprouted me because you would know much more than me. Before that, it was really territorial.
Hell yeah.
Really, really territorial. Like,
yep.
If you wrestled for Windy City, you wrestled for Windy City. You did not wrestle
that
for...
That was the rules.
It's what it was.
Yeah, it was the rules. Yeah.
There was no wrestle for Anarchy. There was no wrestle for Southland. There was no wrestle for...
ARW.
It wasn't happening.
It was a different time.
It just wasn't happening.
Mm-hmm.
He was Windy City made. It was going to happen there. That's it.
Yeah.
But times have changed, and you know we've further through. Windy City's no longer, so we've got him wrestling at multiple companies. You got me wrestling in multiple companies.
Well, we were talking earlier too about the Boxing and Wrestling Commission. I mean, once they dropped, you know, that's when you get all these companies coming in because they couldn't afford to pay the dues.
That's true. The biggest thing I'd say especially about Illinois right now, no commission. So anybody that decides, you know what, I put my taxes in this year.
Yep.
And I've got about $4,000 or $5,000 coming back to me in taxes. I want to throw a wrestling show. And as much as you out there would think that this is bullshit, I've literally had it happen to me where promoters have literally said, I've got $4,000 or $5,000 coming back to me. I want to throw a show. What can I do? They have no wrestling experience. They have no managerial experience. They have no pro wrestling anything experience whatsoever, but they want to throw a show. And they do.
Well, actually, real quick, Braun the Lumberjack calls it tax pro wrestling.
I love Braun.
Yeah.
I love Braun to death. He's right.
It happens every year.
It happens. As soon as February, March comes around, everybody puts their taxes through. Braun's right on point. You will get your guys that want to hire a big name that has been big in the 80s, big in the early 90s, bring them in, make bank off of their sign autographs, and do this as a continuous thing. And honestly, unfortunately,
it doesn't last.
First of all, it don't last.
No.
I mean, you can only do it so many times. Second of all, it just gets boring. I mean, wouldn't you rather learn about somebody like Ivan, Superbad, somebody that you have no clue about, as opposed to somebody that's got 1,000,001 shoot interviews out there that you have no clue what's true or what's not.
True, yeah.
You know, and I mean, here's the truth. I came out there to hang out with my longtime boy, Ivan, Chad.
Been friends a long time.
Man, I can't even fought, wrestled, hang out.
Had some good matches, man.
Man, seriously,
we really did.
Such a long time.
Yeah.
And here we are, just hanging out on the boat. We broke down. Whatever. We still went out to have a great fucking time.
Great time today.
Here we are, still on this boat. We got it started.
And the boat's running, so
it's ready to rock.
It's ready to roll.
Yo, honestly, I have not had a better fucking time in my fucking life. Beep, 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 beep.
was
Whatever. This is
Plus, he drank a thing of moonshine.
A
big thing of moonshine.
It was delicious. Delicious. Moonshining it up. So
it was good.
This is amazing. I had an amazing time. Wrestling is at nothing like we've ever seen.
I mean, I don't even follow it anymore, man.
You don't follow it.
Except for ARW.
Well, it's hard to follow. It's hard to follow.
I can't watch what's on TV,
what's
man.
interesting to really get into, I mean, there's really not, independent wrestling, well, because you know your guys, you want to see them do well, you know your people, that really gets you into it, but you see this TV stuff, it's really discouraging because you're really still trying to get out there and get your name out there and get people to watch you, and you watch this crap, and then it's like, why bother?
Well, and I always thought the stuff going on now, it's pretty. It's pretty to watch, flippy and flying, whatever. But to be an actual student of wrestling and to watch this, it's
100% because honestly, my knees, my worst part about my body, my knees, I started off at Pro Championship Wrestling and they did not have a wrestling ring. They just did not. I'm not going to sit here and try to sugarcoat it. They just did not have a wrestling ring. It was a ring that had 4 posts and they met up in the middle with a giant spring. And the giant spring, let me tell you what, gave no fucking give whatsoever. It was basically like landing on concrete in the middle of the ring. And that's where I landed my moonsaults. I didn't do moonsaults a couple feet off the corner. I went for, instead of for glory and grace, I went for distance. So I lined them up in the middle of the ring and I'd hit my moonsault.
Okay.
The only problem with that is moonsaulting like that with so much velocity, your knees would hit first.
Yeah.
With that type of ring, I mean, your knees hitting first is like basically hitting concrete.
Yeah.
So I'd say about 90% of my moonsaults went out perfectly, but the other 10%, my meniscus would go out. And I'm still dealing with it till this day.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
It's part of the life, man.
It's a shame. It really is. It's part of the life. I wish I could have learned in a real wrestling ring. As all I could really put at this point in my life. I think if I had actually wrestled in a wrestling ring like ARW or a lot of the wrestling rings that we've got today, my knees would be intact. But I was wrestling and moonsaulting on basically a piece of cement. A piece of cement, and my knees suffered from it. So,
Well, I told you earlier, too, so Windy City's training, I don't remember the size of the ring. I think it was 20 by 20. But we had this huge spring in the middle, and it was the softest thing to ever take a bump on. But on the flip side, we would have our road ring hard as fuck, dude. I mean, seriously. It was 16 by 16, so it was different.
So it was the opposite of PCW. So the practice ring and the ring that you would use first on the road was that hard beast with the middle. And then the really long out there shows, Midlothian and stuff, they would use the ring that gave more give. Oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was like bumping on pillows, man. It was beautiful. Yeah, but nobody realizes the pain, the anguish we go through just to put a simple 15-minute, 20-minute show for these guys. Sometimes it just doesn't add up.
I do think, though, a lot of fans appreciate, what we do.
These days, yes.
Seriously.
These days, yes. Because I will say, when I first started, fuck no. Everything was as it is, how you get it. These days, yes. They will get behind you. They will cherish you. They will continue as long as you are doing what you do best, and you do you best. So just do you, and they're behind you, and that's amazing.
I've had some great fans, and I still have some great fans, and I don't see it in me, but I like that they see it in me. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
I feel you, because it's the same thing with me. I took for a good almost 2 years. I've been doing wrestling here for about 24 years.
Yeah.
I started in PCW about 24 years ago, and I've been kind of just murking my way around. At that point, started my own fed, Anarchy Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, and we're definitely going to talk about that here pretty soon. So.
But throughout all that, I worked my way into combat robotics.
And, you want to talk about this, man? This is interesting.
So,
yes.
The way this came about pretty much was...
Well, explain to everybody what...
So, like, combat robotics, so if you've ever seen anything like it, you may not have. Okay, it's not for everybody. Discovery Channel has a lot of it. It's called BattleBots. I've made it on the show myself. I've went to Vegas. I've competed on the show, which is basically like the WrestleMania of wrestling. To make it on BattleBots is basically making it on to WrestleMania. I couldn't believe I made it. So going through about 21 years of pro wrestling, I don't want to say I got bored, but I was looking for a little flavor.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit of flavor in my life that was outside of just going out there and work. Nothing wrong with working, but I was just looking for a little bit of flavor. I loved watching Discovery. I loved watching BattleBots. I loved everything about it. So, YouTube, as crazy as it fucking sounds, will teach you so fucking much, man. Yeah. YouTube taught me everything about combat robotics that I needed to know. If you're interested yourself, go to Witch Doctor Jr. on YouTube. Junior is Jouyinor. Witch Doctor Jr. You will find exactly what I found, and you can progress yourself. I found Witch Doctor Jr. Witch Doctor is actually a badass bot that's in Discovery Channel that kills people all the time. They never won the big belt yet, the World Championship belt type of thing.
Yeah. But
they're very fucking close. That's who I wanted to be. I wanted to be like Witch Doctor, you know. So I started my own little type of robotic club with names and stuff. And the name I came up with was, I had a dog named Crixus, and he was a Chihuahua, bigger than life. I mean, we had a dog on here earlier. What was his name? Bowser. Big dog. Big dog. My dog was about, I don't want to even have the size, 3/4 of the size that dog was. But you would never notice because it spoke so loud, got in your face so loud, it was like a big dog.
Yeah.
And this dog taught me, listen, you know, get out there. It's as stupid as that sounds. This dog really taught me courage. Get out there, do your thing. And that's really what I came about with robotics. Because these guys are all engineers. Go to college. They're graduates of engineering. And who the fuck am I? I'm a pro wrestler from the Midwest. What the fuck do I know? Yeah. You know, so I mean, you know, I've been doing this for so long with my boys. What do I know? But
you've done pretty good though in this field, right?
So you would, the guys who thought, who the fuck is this guy? I did a lot of YouTube research, just to YouTube everything, and I self-taught myself.
Yeah.
And I went out there, and I want to say throughout the last year, I've came up with about 25 different trophies. From every tournament I go to, whether it's first through third, I win a trophy.
Well, I've seen some of your stuff, man.
And
that's pretty cool,
listen,
man.
So no matter what I do in life, whether it's airsoft, whether it's Facebook, whether it's, you know, whatever it is, wrestling, I go full out, 100%. I put my full force into it, and that's what I did with everything. And this particularly got me into high tournaments. I actually made it into a team called Pain Train, which is on Discovery Channel. They picked me up, so I don't want to sound like I did shitty in wrestling by any means. But within 1 year, I was able to accomplish going to the pros and making it big time in 1 year. And wrestling, I mean, I ain't gonna bullshit you. I've been doing it for like 23, 24 years. I've never wrestled for WWE. You know, I never wrestled for AEW. But in combat robotics, where it's a little bit more than just wrestling, it's a little bit more brain power, I was actually able to go out there and do something. So it gave me a little bit more hope that I'm more than just a wrestler.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I did my whole life. I love wrestling. I'd never give it up.
Yeah.
Never in a fucking million fucking years. Even you're retired. There may be a time where you come back and do one match.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know,
it's never going to be totally out of my system.
Right, exactly. So I'm at that point. You know, but as far as combat robotics go, I can go every month. You know, it's just one thing is expensive. The most expensive hobby I've ever experienced in my life. You build these badass robots that will rip somebody apart in seconds just to go compete with them, and hopefully they hit that guy in a couple of seconds, because if they hit you, you're going to be the one ripped up, you know? So it's a competition about strength, reliability.
It's mental too. I mean, you have to know, you know, putting the machine together. I couldn't do something like that.
Well, besides putting it together, there's so many other factors besides like gyro velocity. You turn your weapon up, you know. So I got my regular bot driving. It's driving great. So I got a drum weapon. I turn that son of a bitch up. You're not going to be able to drive right. The weapon velocity, the speed velocity is going to pull it all the way to the left, and you're going to compensate to the right just to drive it straight. You know, it's a very confusing sport, but at the same time, the rewards are so satisfying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is what I'm doing it for, but let's say there's a place called Norwalk Havoc Robot League. It's NHRL. It's on YouTube. If any of you are out there on YouTube, which I'm sure you are because you're watching this, check out NHRL Robot Battles. You'll check it out. You'll even see some of me on there. It's amazing.
That's cool.
It's just televised. As if you see Monday Night Raw, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
They televise it. It's just amazing stuff. Pure battles. Pure guys like me and you putting our passion into this robot and just going at each other.
It's fucking awesome.
Just let's go. Let's just go.
Let's
you
just
know,
go.
yeah, like straight up. If your bot slams people, let's just go. If mine rips people apart by spinning a drum, let's just go. If mine looks like a lawnmower and yours looks like a helicopter blade, let's go. Let's see who does the most damage. You know, that's really what it's all about. The biggest thing apart about it is the bunny putting it together. You know,
I can imagine. I mean, come on.
These engines, motors, spare parts. You know, you get your robot together. Now you still got spare parts to make sure when you go to this competition, which happened a million times, where I've killed the first 3 or 4 opponents, and the 5th opponent fucked me up, messed me up so bad that I can't do the next match.
Yeah.
You know, and then I end up losing the tournament. So this is a really good tournament put together. Robotics is something that really nobody thinks about, nobody hears about, but it's something that's coming in the future, for sure.
Well, so you're talking about this. I saw a video that you posted of one of the coolest Iron Man masks.
Oh my God.
Fully functional Iron Man mask.
Okay.
Now, did you really make that?
Yes. So
from scratch, that was you?
So the great thing about that, let me just say that learning all this combat robotics taught me about servos, how electronics work, how to get them to work, how to power them, how to get everything. I mean, if I can get a 1 pound weapon spinning at 250 miles per hour, there's no way I can't get a servo to just lift a mask.
Yeah.
That's basically where that came into. So
that was pretty cool. Everybody saw that.
So if you're, let's say you're into 3D printing, even if you're not, let's say you want to get into 3D printing. A lot of people think you got to design your own stuff, then 3D print it. There's actually a site called Thingiverse or 3D Cults. You go into there, they've got a lot of free files, like the Iron Man one I made, that you could just print. And what you do is print and you follow the directions because they've already built it, and you make your own.
Okay.
That's what I did. So I competed in battle bots. I competed in all these combative robots. And let me tell you what, I don't mean to toot my own horn.
No, go ahead, man. Seriously.
Listen, we're wrestlers, man. We're wrestlers. I don't come for bullshit. Okay? I came for blood. I went out there and I won every competition. If it wasn't first place, if it wasn't second place, I won third place. I came away with a trophy. Every contest I went through, I came through with a trophy.
Yeah.
So I'm not tooting my own horn, but I went the full distance. I put every effort possible that you can think of to make yourself better, to make your robot better. I put the work in, and that's why a lot of these engineering graduates, a lot of these guys that are out here like, this wrestler ain't nothing but a stupid wrestler, don't know shit. I blow their robot apart in one hit because I put the work in.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what it's all about. Same with wrestling.
It's with wrestling as well.
Yeah.
You wanna get to that higher level. You want to get those better bookings. You want to get those higher bookings. You gotta put the work in.
Absolutely.
I really think that's with anything.
Yeah.
You know,
no matter what field you're going in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You put that work in, it will reflect on you.
Yeah.
100%. And that's what I did with pretty much anything I do. You know, between wrestling, combat robotics was amazing, and the great thing with that is I keep moving up through ranks.
Yeah.
I've already conquered the beetle weights, which is 3 pounders. I've already conquered the ant weights, which is 1 pounders. Now I've moved myself over to a design of 12 pounders. After that will be a 30-pound design.
It's getting bigger and bigger.
Once I do the 30-pound design, I'm ready for 250.
Holy cow!
250 is where I can bring it to the TV show.
250 pounds?
Yes, that's how much they weigh.
Jeez.
Which is nuts. If you see some of these guys are hitting the ceiling, 250 pounds. That's heavier than me and you. Honestly, there's you and me.
Well, I'm about 250.
Okay,
that's me.
Think about tossing Ivan to a 30-foot ceiling. How hard would that be?
Yeah.
It would be damn near impossible.
Yeah.
Damn near impossible to throw Ivan to a 30-foot ceiling. That's what these machines are doing. That's the kind of damage they are hitting with.
Yeah.
So these are machines that you want to watch. These are the matches you want to see. I've got a lot of them on my YouTube channel. Even if you don't go to the YouTube channel,
tell them.
It's super bad robotics. So, you know me, super bad. Santana Starks. I've always been doing this for a long time, wrestling. I decided to go into robotics, so I just kept the same name. Super Bad Robotics. You can catch us on YouTube. You'll see you'll see wrestling. You'll see combat robotics. You'll even see airsoft, which I've been doing with my son, which has been keeping me in shape. It's been keeping me just on my toes. Airsoft is a really cool sport. A lot of people haven't heard about it. A lot of people don't see it. But to get active, to get yourself going, it's a really cool sport. And especially if you got a son or whatever it is, to keep the self-bonding between your guys is another great thing as well.
Do those little pebbles or the pellets, whatever they're called.
So
they
they're
hurt?
okay.
They have to hurt.
Okay, so
I remember BBs back in the day.
BBs back in our day would pierce your skin and fucking destroy you. Okay, like let's just be serious. It's like you'd have copper BBs inside of you, like, oh my god, trying to squeeze them out.
Yeah.
All right, nothing like that. Okay,
right.
These are plastic BBs, 6mm BBs to be specific. 6mm BBs that they're projected out of a gun. They usually they try to maintain them to where they're like 340, 350 seconds per hour or whatever it is, to where they're not hitting you super hard. It feels like the best way I explain it is somebody taking a ruler, like back in the day, Bloody Knuckles and all that back in grammar school. Yeah, somebody taking that ruler and just smacking the shit out of you with it.
Okay.
That's what
hurts.
It hurts,
it stings.
But it stings.
Yeah.
It don't hurt.
Okay. True. Yep.
Right around.
Right.
It stings. Like whoo whoo. But it don't hurt where you're like, I can't do this no more. You know,
well,
like
nowadays.
Well, yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah. But yeah, our day, we know.
No. So back in our day, it'd just be like, whoo, wake you up. Let's go for a cruise. Let's do some more. I'm gonna get you back, motherfucker, type of thing.
Right.
You know?
Right.
These days they're white pellets, but that's really, if you were to explain to me what a airsoft pellet would feel like, it would just somebody bending that ruler back as far as they can and just wow. Okay. And you're just like, motherfucker. But
so
not enough.
You know you've been hit.
Yeah. Okay. But not enough to whoop their ass.
Okay.
Okay, so
just enough to
you good shot.
I gotcha.
Good fucking shot, you son of a bitch. You know, that type of thing. So that's where I'm at with that, and I've been really as crazy as it sounds, training with the police officers that come, the SWAT officers that come. I try to learn their tactics because I've never been in the army.
Yeah.
I don't plan on going to the army.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that I just have fun.
Well, you're past your age for that.
Oh my God!
Offense,
I don't.
no
son of a bitch.
I am too. I'm
son
way
of
past
a bitch.
my prime.
No, you're right though. I mean, I don't know what the age limit is, but I mean, I'm up there.
Yeah.
I'm up there. As much as I sit here and try to pretend to be like young, and I mean, fuck, man. I mean, we'd have to start at 42 if we were gonna start anyway. Okay, which is pretty fucking old. Not old, but you know, it's not. Yeah, okay. You see what I'm saying. So, either way, he got my ass out here, my old ass out here. I can't swim. First of all, that's why you see me dunking my fucking feet earlier. Okay, I can't swim. Amazing time out here, amazing everything.
Yeah.
But,
so we broke down. My buddies towed us in. They're like, "Hey, you guys just want to go on a boat ride?" We're like, "Yeah." He's got a 28-foot. You know, we went out there. Yeah, it was like probably 2 miles offshore in Lake Michigan. They're like, "All right, man, turn off the engine, fucking jump in." Everybody jumped in, except for this guy.
Okay, I jumped my feet in.
He put his feet in.
Oh,
took his little shoes off.
No. I took the shoes off. I got up
rolled his pant leg up.
It's true though.
That is true.
I laid him all the way up to here. I got jiggy like I was Gilligan on Gilligan's Island, okay? He didn't want to leave that island. If he did, he would have been out of there a long time ago.
Tell you what, I almost drowned though. It was so hard. It's so much of a workout to just jump in Lake Michigan.
He did.
Even with 2-foot waves.
And the buoy.
And a buoy.
And I
was still catching water in the mouth, thinking, "Oh God, I'm gonna die here. This is how it's over."
He had the buoy between his legs. He's getting splashed by the water.
The boat was hitting me. The boat kept coming up, hitting me.
The biggest, let's be honest. The biggest reason the boat died out is because we were below 2 fucking feet water level.
Sea level, yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Do you know what 2 feet is? That's a lot.
We went right through the mud.
You've seen the mud kicking up, and unfortunately his engine sucked it up. That's what happens.
No, that happened, and we turned around. I actually thought one of my ropes got caught in my engine. I'm like, oh.
That'd
And I
have been
see all
even
the
worse.
silt
That'd have
getting
been
kicked
even
up.
fucking worse.
I'm like, oh, we are like beaching right now. But we made it back. Engine's working.
Everything's
Yeah,
fantastic.
everything's
If he wanted to take me for a cruise, he wanted to, but I'm nice in Santana already at this point.
Yeah, we got burnt today. So,
burn.
I'm gonna go grab us a beer. You ready?
I'm ready.
Why don't you talk a little bit about Anarchy? I mean, talk about what made you.
Okay.
What made you? Let's go to the beginning. Let's give an origin story of Anarchy Pro.
So
And I'll be right back.
Let's go with the origin of Anarchy. Let's start it all off with Pro Championship Wrestling. God bless you guys. Rick Knight, Wally Wild. I love you guys. Pro Championship Wrestling was so this was back when there was no commission, but at the same time it was very, very still regulated because since the commission had just disappeared, we still had some playroom. They had just disappeared. Ivan wasn't around. Mike Anthony wasn't around. All these old school Windy City vets weren't around anymore, so we took advantage of it, and we started Windy City a different type of era. At a point, I was with Pro Championship Wrestling. I just didn't agree with their booking decisions, whatever the case may have it just wasn't happening with me. So I started, it's going to sound funny, Anarchy, but I had no clue what to name it. At this point, Sons of Anarchy was huge. Huge.
Okay.
And I'm talking about, like, you couldn't fucking turn on TV without somebody talking about Sons of Anarchy. They've already went through like 5-6 seasons, and I couldn't catch up. So that's really the biggest thing that got me started in this type of the scenery is like, okay, let's go out there, let's do this, and I just had no fucking clue what the fuck I was doing.
Well, I worked for you a couple shows, and I had fun each time.
Anarchy,
it wasn't nothing big.
I kept it really simple. Anarchy wasn't anything where I tried to make myself bigger than every other Fed out there, but at the same time...
Did you ever strap yourself?
Never. So
I'm so against that.
So let's put it this way.
So
with Anarchy, when I first started, I used my trainer, John Burke, as the booker. And he was booking, and he was like, why ain't you wrestling? Why won't you let me book you? And I'm like, because I don't think it's right. I need to be backstage running shit.
Yeah.
And he said, well, it's a free payday. Like, you're paying all these guys. It's a free fucking payday. You don't got to pay yourself. Go out there and do something. I'm like, you know what? You're right.
Mm-hmm.
So I went out there and I was doing, stuff for myself. And that's really where the biggest thing where we're starting the company where I came involved. But I even became like a general manager, trying to keep everything distance away, and Anarchy became a different being at that point. I tried because say like you came into Anarchy, and I named you the booker, and you named this whole first show, and every person on my roster disagreed with it. I said, oh, this sucks. So what am I supposed to do? Go back up to you as this new booker that I just hired and be like, you know what? We're not doing any of that shit.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. I hired you as a booker.
Yep.
This is what the fuck we're doing.
Let's see how it goes. I mean,
the workers are not in charge. So that's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I just picked a really shitty booker.
Oh, well,
at the time it was this guy named Misfit Manners, and he had some good ideas, but he had some really, really bad ideas, man. Like at one point he was like, The announcer, I don't want there to be an announcer anymore. This is for sure. This is true. I don't want there to be an announcer anymore. I want there to be a floating orb. And the floating, yeah, there you. I just lost him, right there.
Have I been drinking too much?
Fuck no, because he wanted a floating orb to announce people and to control the show like it was Bozo the fucking Clown. Yeah, and I tried it. I'm not gonna lie, I tried it. Just because, fuck, you don't hire somebody and get their ideas and think they're semi-okay and not give them a chance.
Yeah, for sure.
I gave him a chance, and he fucking blew it. I mean, he blew it with spades, man. I mean, wow. There's some good guys that came out of his little camp that he fucking did while I let him fucking run shit, but not many.
Yeah.
And,
well, I see a lot of people over at Anarchy. A lot of my peers, a lot of people I respect and love,
Anarchy definitely produced a lot of good wrestlers. You know, when we were around, we didn't just book bullshit. We really wanted to book top tier talent from around the Midwest. Even from the infantry, we've got Sean Davis, which was a complete rookie. I taught him everything he knows. Obviously, he knows a lot more because he went out to Atlanta after I trained him and trained with A.R. Fox. Completely different wrestling style than me.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, he's doing 450s off the top rope.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing basics to keep everything good.
That's how you have a long career.
Yes. And let me tell you what, Ivan, you couldn't be more correct.
That's why I've been in 29 years, because you've never seen me. I'll do my flip over the ropes.
Which I've taken.
You have. But I would never.
No, you even then you protect us. Even then with the shoulder roll, as soon as that shoulder hits us, you roll.
Yeah. Never want to hurt you guys.
Right. It's a hit, but it rolls off of you. So it's not like it's a hit, punch you, and,
yeah.
It's never like that.
Yep.
Never, not once. But that original hit, if you're not a trained professional, it will knock you a little bit loofy.
Yep.
It is what it is. And when you get hit like that, you've got to be prepared because, it's going to hit you whether you're sitting down in a chair, standing up, your favorite person is whatever the fucking case may fucking be, it's going to hurt.
You always have to protect yourself, no matter who you're against. I mean, he could be the most safest wrestler in the world, but they always have that one night off, where they're, not.
And that's when you've got to be on top of your game.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, look at Owen Hart. Look at Owen Hart. He got his neck broken like that from D'Lo.
Yeah. Or what about Stone Cold?
Stone Cold from Owen Hart.
Two great fucking wrestlers.
There's no way you can ever fault Owen Hart from being fucking bad, not training, not being a student of the fucking game. There's no way you can ever fault, but he made that mistake.
Well, I've heard a bunch of podcasts where Stone Cold was like, he never reached out to me afterwards and stuff like that, which is kind of shitty. I mean, if I broke your neck, I'd be like,
oh yeah, you better reach out
all the time.
Me. Yeah,
like,
dude.
And you would know that by me. I mean, it's just one of those things.
At the same time, I think Owen was like, man, that was a simple fucking. It wasn't like it was a hardcore tombstone. It wasn't like it was the hardest core pile driver ever.
Yeah.
It was a simple.
Yeah.
And he did protect him.
Yeah.
He did protect. It's just a freaky accident.
Yeah. It happens.
That shit could happen. You could protect everybody with the best possible knowledge of your source, and you could still snap your neck.
I do. I would feel terrible if I hurt anybody. I mean,
we're talking
neck, serious.
I
don't want to go there. I feel bad if I just stiff somebody. And I am a little stiff. I've always been a little stiff. But I tell you before, and then I say it, afterwards, hey, I'm sorry. It's just my forearms, man.
Yeah! Hold on. First of all, just his forearms. Just his forearms? Hold on. Okay. The first time I fought Ivan Manson one-on-one, okay? He put these forearms into me like I owed him about $20,000. You see? But you got to be real. You got to lay him in there. You got to lay him in there.
With Windy City, man. You put
no,
that shit
you've got to lay him in there. Would have rather you lay him in there than go and make me fucking sell some bullshit.
Those little fluff things, man. I can't do it.
But
I'd rather say sorry afterwards. Say, man, it was a little stiff.
It was me, Max Holiday. It was me and Max Holiday.
Yeah.
And me and him, because it was 1 week me getting my ass whooped by you. And the next week was him catching them forearms. And me and him would discuss. Like fucking how hardcore the forearm shots were. And yes. Ask Max Holiday yourself. Those,
I know, man. I know.
Yeah,
Max
no.
The same thing.
Yes.
I love you guys, though.
I love you to death, brother. Yeah, no.
Man.
Yeah, you got no. It was never that. It was never
you
that.
Make that shit look good.
First of all, if you can't take that type of shit, what the fuck are you doing here?
Absolutely.
Seriously, what the fuck are you doing here? If you can't take a forearm to the meat of your fucking back.
Yeah. Dude, I remember, I'm not going to say any names, I had someone complain about that to my face. I just laughed and walked away. What am I supposed to do? I'm sorry you're a little bitch. You can't take my forearms. If I hit you a certain way, hit me back a certain way.
Or do something, what?
Give it back to me. I've always been like that. If I give it to you, you give it back. That's how it should be.
Yeah, fucking right.
I'm not playing.
You're giving it, you're going to take it.
I'm not in there to play games.
You're going to give it, you're going to take it. There's no way you're going to give me a nasty-ass forearm and not take one back from me.
Absolutely.
There's no fucking
I
way.
That. There's been many times someone hit me over like Machine is somebody that I would give him fucking forearms and he would give them back and I'd be like, oh, God damn. Sorry,
So
dude.
Machine was my first match ever.
Oh, okay.
Machine and God rest his soul, Botch. Remember Botch?
Yeah, I sure do.
God rest his soul. Love you, Botch. Him and Machine were in a tag team called the Gravediggers.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first ever match as a rookie.
As a rookie?
As a rookie.
Fuck that.
You see? I got it somewhere in footage. I'm going to post it. Holy shit. That's all I can fucking say. They beat the fuck out of us. And then Machine to put the coup de grace, the cherry on the fucking ice cream, okay? He went to the top rope. Now, Machine at this point, you see Machine these days, he's going to be like a good 200 pounds toned.
He's lost a lot.
So much.
Absolutely.
He's 200 pounds, 210, toned.
Mm-hmm.
Toned.
Yep. I remember him back in the day.
I want to say he was about a good 320.
Yeah, I believe it.
And did frog splashes.
Well, I don't know if I would take one.
I took it. I ended the match with it.
I might be like, man, I'm not gonna take that.
I took it. I'm gonna post it for everybody here sometime here soon. It was brutal. I've never felt nothing like that. Still to this day in my life, it really scarred me, man. Like the only thing that ever scarred me more than that, when I was in high school football, and I played this team called Lane Tech up on the north side. They had a really good football program. I had a ghetto football program, okay? And we finally made it to the playoffs, okay? And then we faced Lane Tech. There was this linebacker, number 58, and it's been like 30 years. Number 58, okay? And he would know every play I was about to run. Like, they'd be like, flanker right, sweep right. And I'd be like, ready to go. La 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 left. His left, my right. La 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 la. And he crushed me, dude. fucking like it was like almost winter time, and I had a little bit of boogers coming out, right? Hit me so hard, my boogers came out to my chest, dude. He fucked me up, dude.
So you're comparing him to Machine?
Yes. That was a Machine rookie match. Was number 58 from Lane Tech knocking the snot out of me. Was and the fucked up thing is, me and Machine are so close these days. Like we were the Executioners in ARW.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
I mean, we were tag team champions together.
I love him to death. Man.
Yeah, I love Machine. You know, like it's awesome. And watching his post, and the reason we were a tag team, it's gonna sound funny, is there was a game called Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
And they actually made this game like so close to the original movies. It caught my attention and love.
Yeah.
So much. The Mavs were like, oh my fucking God, it's just like watching the original movies.
Yeah.
And they fell off because of a lawsuit. There was a lawsuit between the guy who originally wrote the movies, not created it, not made the visual effects, not made the TVs, but just wrote it.
Yeah.
He wanted his share.
Course,
went to fucking the court and fucking ended up losing, but he ended up winning because
the fans ends up losing.
Yes, because we could not get no downloaded content.
Yeah,
we cannot further the right.
Yeah.
So it's all shut down. It's all private servers. It's all bullshit. At one point, this was the greatest game I've ever played in my fucking life.
Yeah. And
now it's just fucking bullshit. But it's
with what Machine?
So with Machine, we used to play that all the time. The reason I brought it up, me and Machine would so there was either a team, you would either pick Jason and go kill everybody, or you'd be on the counselors and try to kill Jason.
Uh-huh.
And there was a specific way to kill Jason. It wasn't just easy to kill Jason.
Yeah,
there was a specific way to kill Jason. Me and Prater, Machine, would always want to kill Jason. So we would chase him down, do all the things to kill him, and when we would kill him, both of us would start teabagging him. Like in the game, you know, like, I don't know. I don't play Fortnite. I don't play... But I seen Machine just teabagging this guy, so I'm like, let's do it, right? Okay. So I'm there teabagging the guy. We're out there fucking... It was just ridiculous, you know.
That's funny as hell.
We went multiple matches where at the end of the match, we would teabag people.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. like I don't know how people weren't pissed.
You.
Yeah.
Fucking bullshit.
You remember 747, Eddie?
Yeah?
Yeah, so we went to wrestle him. And he's like, fuck you niggas. You ain't teabagging me for shit. He's like, fuck you, motherfuckers. Fucking take your teabags. But that's what we were doing every match after, you know, It was funny. It was good times. But yeah, I think 747 put an end to that. He was like, fuck you, motherfuckers. Y'all ain't teabagging me. You know, like he straight up put an end to it. He's like, I'll go on your interview. But you ain't teabagging me.
That's hilarious.
It was funny. Yeah, I haven't teabagged anybody since, but that's where Team Teabag between me and Machine came from. Because
so with Machine, I lost my ARW title to him. We had a 3 stages of hell match.
Oh no shit,
dude! It was one of my longest matches, and it was brutal.
No kidding.
We beat the fuck out of each other.
Machine's a beast,
dude. I don't remember what it was. It was like a street fight, body bag match, and something, whatever. He beat my ass, dude. I was sore for fucking weeks afterwards. I mean, I'm sure he was too, because I wasn't giving him no love taps. He's taking my title. You're gonna earn this motherfucker.
Interesting story about Beast. Interesting fucking story. This is going way back in the day. Nothing you got to bring up, but so I'm in PCW. We were training in Elk Grove. Okay, that was our home spot. Once a week, we would throw a show there to build up the money. Everything else is training, building up the money. So I built myself out there, did some training, built myself in a couple matches. and they want to take us out for a cruise or whatever it is, just hang out and whatever and whatnot. And PCW at that point was, like I said, it was awesome. It was like Ego, you know, just a bunch of the cool ass dudes were fucking really fucking hanging out.
Yeah.
We went out there, and Machine specifically was part of this crew called the Three Rings.
Yes.
You remember the Three Rings?
I do.
Okay. Lee, what did he go by? Oh God, his name was Lee. Lethal Lee.
Yes.
Fuck, how do I forget that? Lethal Lee, Machine, Lollipop, Grin. Oh my God, they were just the coolest fucking faction I've ever come across. You know, and I loved it. And this is when I was first getting into wrestling and everything like that. So I went to Elk Grove and went down there, and Mark Madison. So Mark Madison was basically, you may never heard of him, but he did some work for Windy City. He did some work for quite a couple different companies. But Mark Madison was my introduction into wrestling, because he had a wrestling fight in his basement. I grew up I'm not gonna lie, I grew up in the ghetto, man. You know, like by Midway Airport, you know, you know, it's not like super ghetto, but it's ghetto enough. That's where the fuck I grew up. You know, tenants, apartments, whatever the fuck it is, they had to go off my apartment. So growing up there was a little bit rough, but at the same time, it was really cool, because fucking being out on the water at that fucking time, man, there was no rules, you know, fucking like interviews like this. This is so fucking cool, man. I love this to death.
This is cool.
I think I'm fucked up. If I'm talking too much,
he's all fucked up. Hey, man, we're actually gonna wrap it up. We're losing sun. We're gonna eat some food.
Okay, we're gonna eat some food, but let me just tell you something right quick. Hold on. I had an amazing fucking time here.
Yes.
On the boat. If you're a wrestler, if you're an artist, if you're anything of the sort and got some interest, we got to do a part 2.
Dude, you have 23 years worth of talking.
We've got to do a part 2 because there's so much we didn't talk about.
We would have started sooner, but the boat broke down.
It's all good.
We ended up on the water.
I will be back. We're going to do a part 2.
Yes.
We're going to eat right now. But I want you guys to know there's so much more to talk about. Thank you so much. What is this called?
Pay dues, drink brews, and a boat cruise.
Oh, listen. I paid my dues. I've taken the boat cruise. All of that. And this is amazing.
It was fun.
Ivan's the man. Come take a trip on his boat.
Absolutely.
I can't explain to you how fucking awesome this fucking was. We even took a trip on the neighbor's boat. Come on out. Let's do this damn thing. Let's have some fun. Ivan, thank you so fucking much, brother.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Are you hungry? You ready to eat?
I'm ready to fucking eat, bro.
All right, man. Here we go.
Thank you. Oh. Yeah, I could talk fucking forever. I know we're losing light. I seen the light going away.